Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this week's YouTube video. And I want you to know today's not just going to be me. You are all in here for a treat, and I'm super excited to introduce you to one of my clients, Lisa. Hey, Lisa, welcome. Thank you for being
Hi.
here. Before we dive in, I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, Lisa. It really means a lot to me that you showing up today, not only for this conversation, but or for me, but for yourself, for your growth, for your children, and for every other mom who is going to feel less alone because of your story. So I want you to know that getting into it. And it really means so much to me that you're taking the time to share your journey inside A.L.I.V.E, because A.L.I.V.E is something I poured. I mean, all my programs, I poured my heart into it, but this one has come from so many experiences of my own. It's not just theory or anything, but it has come through so many of mine experiences and my clients' experiences, and I put it together to make it doable. My goal was doable yet transformational because it's a lot of work. Breaking these generational cycles are not easy. And so I wanted to make something that's not scary and yet doable. And so I'm really looking forward to hear your perspective, your journey through it. But I want you to know there's no pressure to have perfect words or anything. Just speak your heart and we will let the story unfold. All right.
Okay.
Beautiful. So let's begin by introducing yourself. If you want to just tell us a little bit about yourself, tell us a little bit about who you are as a mom, how old your kids are, what stage of parenting you're in, and maybe even a glimpse of what life looked like before A.L.I.V.E entered the picture.
Mm, okay. Hi, I'm Lisa. Um, I have three sons. I have a seventh grader, a fifth grader, and a kindergartner. Um, so 12, almost 13, 10, and 5, almost 6 are their ages. So before Alive, I was a yelly mom. Parenting is just so much harder than I ever expected it to be. You know,
I'm
obviously
sure all moms will agree with you.
it's hard. It's so hard. And it's like, oh, it'll get easier. And some things get easier, but other things get harder. And it's just really, you don't know until you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and each child is unique and your partner plays a part. And, there's just so many different pieces. One thing that comes to my mind, and actually I think I might have mentioned it to you, Jahanvi, but that moment where Elliot had the honeydew in the bowl and his brothers accidentally like kicked it out and it was all over the floor.
I remember that. Yeah.
And I was trying to stay calm with Elliot and then I got kind of frustrated. And so then I went in to see the other boys to find out, what their side of the story was. And I immediately began to yell at them. So yeah, so he had a bowl of honeydew melon and it was like we'd had it in the fridge for a day or two and so it was the last of it and had been cut up and he was like eating that as like the pre-breakfast thing and he took it in to share it with them and they were wrestling and they knocked almost all of it out of the bowl. And so he came in crying and upset because of course honeydew melon is his favorite. And so I was trying to understand, but I was getting frustrated because I knew they had done something and I couldn't understand him and he was so upset. And so and he got to the point where he started like getting mad at us and he was yelling at us. And so I was like, oh, don't yell at me. Like I think that was my last words before I walked into the other room and immediately began to yell at my because I had seen it on the floor and they were still wrestling and I just like snapped. And then um so after a couple minutes my husband came over and he gave me a hug and he just sort of like spoke it back to me like don't yell at me and then and he was like I think someone might need to go back to bed. Which of course like infuriated me more, but also I was able to hear him and he was trying to bring me back to earth. But it was good because it was just enough for me to be like, okay, I hear you. I don't like what you're saying, but you're right. Um, and so it's like those kinds of things. Like I've read things and I've tried things and I've done some work to be a better mom, and I think it has, you know, helped. Um, but there's still work to be done. You still have to, you can't just be like, okay, I'm good now. You got to keep up the work, which can be really hard. But sometimes having these lovely little things like the Alive was so helpful because it wasn't super overwhelming. It wasn't, you know, a slew of brand new information. It might be for someone, but even if it is for someone, I felt like it was still very digestible and helpful. So that's my story.
If you could, like, how being part of Alive helped you in that situation? Yes, the yelling occurred, and all that, but what smallest, tiniest shifts you saw?
Going through the Alive program, I have definitely noticed that I am pausing more before going into an interaction with the kids for whatever it might be. And I know that I'm getting ramped up, or I know that they're ramped up, or,
Yeah.
just those tiny, tiny tweaks. And it's helpful.
Yeah, that's huge. Thank you for sharing that because a lot of times, that's the difference between knowing and embodying, right? Like like we know so many things,
Mhm.
but in the moment, everything goes out the window. But that little pause, the difference is what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, that pause is happening little more naturally versus before your nervous system, even though you knew you wanted to pause, even though you know you should pause, but your nervous system didn't allow you. You had to lash it out. You had to say what you had to say in the moment. And I'm sure the very next moment, maybe a regret, a guilt, right? That spiral going down. But
Mhm.
had to, if you didn't, it was so uncomfortable within your system, right? It's all starts in the body and then it goes up in the brain.
Mhm.
So am I correct when I'm saying that the pause is more coming natural to you than it did before?
Yes,
Because
100%.
we all know, like that's not rocket science. We all know we need to pause before we lash it out. Like it's like, our nervous system wants to dump it all.
I remember there was another moment in these last few weeks where my son and I were having an issue, and I was getting out of the van and I had to go around it to get in to like help him get out. And I stopped and I didn't have much time because I knew he was, going to be raging, right? So it was like, okay. And I didn't really have the time to do the hands, but what I did was I just made sure that I was doing that humming noise on the way back out. And I did that a couple times, and that sent like a deeper message to my body. Like, it's okay. All right, we're not in danger, it's okay. And so it was just enough for me to, and probably the benefits are better if you do it all properly. But in that moment, it gave me just enough extra that I was able to like have that pause last a little longer. And I was able to go into the angry van a little more calmly and stay calmer longer,
Yeah, yeah.
which can be so helpful. Just those little extra moments can make such a big difference. Yeah.
If you were to just zoom out for a second, how would you describe the mom you're becoming now, Lisa? Like, what would your past self say if she saw you today?
I think she would be proud of me. Um, I know I've definitely gotten better at understanding that their brains are still under construction and that I'm better about not taking things as personally, like I can step outside of it and I can see that I'm here to guide them and teach them and shape them and mold them, but not control them. And it's funny because I didn't ever think in my mind that like, at least not consciously, that was my job, was to control them.
Right.
But I think it's so easy to sort of confuse that with teaching them. You know what I mean? Like
Uh,
you're
Totally.
just like, okay, well, I told you to do this, so this is what you need to do. And I don't, why are you arguing with me? And of course, I'm sure some of that goes back into the way that I was raised. But um, so I never like was like, this child is mine to control consciously. But at the same time, I think that it's, well, if I'm not doing that, then how am I teaching that? Like,
Yes.
so it's kind of a like boundary crossing, bleeding lines, right? That's kind of how I can see that and describe that. And so I've gotten better at being a lot more aware about my role
Mm,
with them,
mm,
and that the relationship with them is so important, and which like I always knew, but you just see it differently. Um and so I think I do have a better relationship with my children now than I did before, which yay. Yes, please. And you know, it's my anger is not really serving them and it's not serving me. So for me to be able to calm that down, be less reactive, and you know, that's so huge. It's been really huge. Like just to have a better relationship with my kids, connect on a better level, and not freak out all the time. It's nice. And I think they like it too.
I'm so glad you pointed that out because a lot of moms out there feel like they're doing the right thing. It's not feeling good to them, but they feel like this is the norm. This is how I was parented. This is what I'm supposed to do to be a good mom. But little we know, right? Like, and that's why, I want mothers, whoever is listening to this, like, just feel like get connected within yourself. Like, whatever I'm doing, does it feel good to me? It's not about right or wrong. Let's just go connect with our bodies and soul and see, does this feel good to me? And I think a lot of us started this work that time. Like, I know I started this because something about me doesn't feel good. Something about my parenting doesn't feel good. And I did have this fear, when my daughter will be teenager, I'm going to have a horrible relationship with her because the way I'm parenting right now. But I don't know what else to do. So I'm going to keep on doing it or I'm going to find answers. And I decided I'm going to find answers. And I think so did you. Like, you shared so many things thus far. Do you feel like this process was more about learning new tools or unlearning old patterns you didn't even know you were running, that they were running you?
I just got shivers with that question, Jahanvi. um, I think it's a little of both, to be honest, because I remember, so like the Brahmari breathing, that was a new tool, especially when I like broke the rules the way that I did it that day. Um, but honestly, I feel like that unlocked something for me, right? Because it felt silly, and it's like, that like humming. It's kind of weird. You're not used to doing it, like outside your comfort zone. Um, but now I know how very beneficial it can be, especially if I use it on a more regular basis, right? So like that's a very clear example to me of a new tool that I gained through this program. And then I also remember one of the weeks, I don't remember which one, but I remember telling you, oh my gosh, that was fire. Because there was so much information in there, and some of it I already knew, but I was able to see it and see myself and the patterns that I have and the behavior that I have. And I can't remember like specific details to give you, but I do remember just that feeling of being like, oh, yeah, like I've been doing that, or I've been doing this, or I'm not doing that and it was just like, it just brought a lot to the surface for me, seeing my patterns and what they were, what they are still, and how I still could approve here, there. But it was just nice because it was like I was able to see it all like that, and then I was still able to take in what you were saying, and the daily check-ins were good for that purpose as well. Being able to see like what my patterns are and how am I handling this and reflecting on those things. So I think it's a little of both.
Yeah.
It's hard to choose just one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel hopeful. Feel hopeful because I see the progress that I've made, and I see that obviously there's still so much more progress to be made. Um, but I feel like, okay, it doesn't always have to be deep, grueling work. Sometimes it's just maintaining for a bit. And then, obviously you're going to have to do the deep, grueling stuff throughout, but it doesn't have to be that all the time. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. Sometimes we make it too, or our, rather, I should say, our nervous system makes it look so hard because of our past experiences. And do you feel like A.L.I.V.E parenting method made you feel like that lightness, that it's doable? Like you said, it's hopeful. There is hope.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there were deep moments, like that particular week, especially, it was just like, whoa, okay. But it wasn't like I wasn't overwhelmed. It was just like, oh, this is good. There's a lot of stuff, and and that's nice because like this whole thing has been really great in that sense. Like I can keep doing the work that I need to be doing, but I'm not under pressure
Yeah.
to produce huge, great results. You know?
Now, I think you're week number 8. This is our last 8th week.
Yeah.
And would you say it's becoming more of your like
Mhm.
more auto, like the our auto used to be yelling, screaming, immediate, right? What's your go-to now? What's your auto now? For the
Good.
yeah.
I have more pauses. And also sometimes I'm able to really like think it through. There was something that happened recently that I was talking to you about, and you said, because I didn't even really realize it, but you said something like, one of my kids came in and he said something to me, and I was like, oh, it makes sense that you would feel that way. And when I told you, you said, and you didn't feel guilty. Do you remember that? I don't remember the incident anymore, but whatever the issue was, it was something that before I would have been eating myself up in guilt that it
Mm,
happened or that he felt that way. And instead, I was able to look at him and just be like, oh, that makes sense that that's how you would feel. But I didn't feel like an overwhelming sense of drowning in guilt like I would have before. I think it's because I'm seeing me and my children like a little more separately. They're not an extension of me, right? Like that's like the opposite way, right? Because your kids are like, they see you as an extension of them in their toddlerhood, but also I think moms do the same with their kids. I mean, I'm guilty of it. They're my babies, right? Like,
and to adult children, right?
right,
Not
like
conscious of
you're
that.
always my baby. Like that's just how it's gonna be. But it's also, easy to get trapped in those like guilt feelings. Like I should have seen that coming. I should have known. This is gonna really upset him, but I have to hold this boundary, whatever. And whatever, I don't remember the detail. I just remember the moment. And when I was telling you about it, because I didn't even realize that I wasn't like
Yeah.
drowning in guilt when beforehand I would have been. And you pointed it out to me, and I was like, oh, yeah, no, it
Power-
wasn't.
That's powerful because we are full of guilt. Otherwise, we drown in it, and it doesn't serve us or our kids, when we stay stuck there.
Yeah.
So that's huge. I think that's a huge win. That's a huge win.
Yes.
Give yourself that.
I'll take it. Thank you. Thank you, Jahanvi.
Yourself. I mean, you are the one doing this work, and it's not easy. It's not easy, as you and I both know. And yet you're doing it for yourself, for your kiddos. And yeah,
Well, you made it very possible, so I appreciate that about you
thank you.
hugely. Thank you.
So let's see. I would love for you to imagine another mom, who may be listening now, one who is unsure if this is for her. Because I know, like when if you go back, if I may, when we first, and by the way, those of you who don't know, Lisa has been my client for a few years, and I think she's taken everything I've offered in the last few years, which is awesome. And yet, just to tell you, like, this is such a deep inner nervous system work. These are generational patterns that we're breaking, and it doesn't happen overnight. And that's why this is a continuation work. And yes, you can do it by yourself, but it's much more harder when you have a community, when you have somebody to hold your hand and walk this journey. It definitely makes it so much more easier. And so for a mom who is hesitant and not sure, if she's hesitating because of maybe time, maybe money, or fear of failing, even, what would you want to say to her?
I would say do it. Just do it. Honestly, I get the whole time piece. One of the weeks that this happened, so we're busy anyway. We've got three kids. They're involved in things. It's just busy. And I know that that word is like tossed around so much, and it's such a cop out in so many ways. But also it's a reality for many of us. And I completely understand that. And one of the weeks, one of my kiddos was diagnosed with walking pneumonia, the other one a couple days later with an ear infection. And there were other things happening that week that were not typical that I can't even remember. But it was just, everything was crazy. And I remember writing to Jahami and be like, I'm so sorry. It's been a marathon week, whatever. And I did feel badly about that. But really, ultimately, the videos are on the shorter side, and that's super helpful. For me, it's like I can watch the video in the pickup line if I get there early or before bed. I realize, oh, I haven't done that yet. So many different like little pockets in the day that can work to watch the video. And getting the daily reflection was helpful because then that 10-minute video didn't disappear into the week, right? Because you have those daily reflections. But again, there's no pressure tied to them. You see it, you're like, oh yeah, the video. And you just keep thinking about those things throughout the week. And it's really helpful in that sense. So if it's because you're busy, I'm telling you, and this is coming from someone who's not always great at follow through. This is a good one.
Yeah, financially too, I think you have been investing throughout, all these years. You've
Yeah.
been investing in yourself. And like, what would you say if money was an issue for a mom?
It's worth it. It's worth it. And if you can only do one course or you can only do even if it's not this, the minimum that you can do with Jahanvi, I would recommend it because she has so much information in her head. she, it is so true. But also, her insight is amazing. And um, I love Jahanvi, how open you are and non-judgmental. Like in all honesty, you there are times that I'm like so embarrassed and I think about this situation and I'm just like, what did that was the most ridiculous thing that I could have done. And then I like tell Jahanvi about it. I'm like, all those feelings, like she's gonna be like so mad at me, whatever. And sweet and so understanding and so open. And it's like she's like, okay, well, maybe that happened because of this, and maybe we can do, and she just has a plethora of like next steps, understanding it, figuring it out, and it's so helpful. It's really so helpful. And I remember in the beginning feeling kind of like I'm seeing a parenting coach. This is kind of weird. But now I'll tell people, I'm like, I got to call with my parenting coach. I got to go. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yes. Parenting is hard and I've got somebody. So bye.
Oh, Lisa. Oh, that's so heartwarming. Thank you for sharing that. I didn't know that piece.
It's so true. It is so true. I know it sounds silly, but or whatever, but I
No, it
honestly.
means a lot to me because my containers, in my containers, I won't don't want anyone ever feel judged by me ever, ever, ever. I've heard the worst in these coaching containers. And you know, somehow it's God's gift. Or like, I get this person, I feel you, but I'm not taking it too hard because my job is to hold your feelings,
Mhm,
no matter what it is, or hold your experience, no matter what it is,
mhm.
and help you walk, past that. Okay, has happened. Let's give it ourselves grace, and let's figure out how we can move forward from here. What feels
Mhm.
right for you, not for me, but what feels right for you. And
Believe
that's
that.
what kind of mom really benefits the most from A.L.I.V.E? Is it like strong-willed moms, burnout moms, craving connection moms?
All of them. Busy, burned out, maybe the ones that aren't great at follow through, the ones that struggle with consistency. Because it's doable. It's not super overwhelming. If you are really looking for a change, if you're really looking for something beneficial, if you're really looking for something where you can learn, where you can start to shift, it can be done in this container, in this program. Um, and any mom can benefit from it, but busy, burned out, um, again, even those that struggle to follow through, like this is a great one because it is packed. It is so concise. Didn't I say that? Your videos are so concise. They're short, but they are like, man, just packed with good stuff. So,
Just to give you guys a format, so it's an 8-week experience. We begin with setting an intention. So that weekend when you join, we're going to set an intention because intentions are so crucial. We want to know, why are we doing this, and what is our goal? What is it that we want at the end of this experience, right? You need to put it on paper to make it a reality. So we go through this little ritual and intention setting in the weekends, and then starting that Monday, your first module will be dropped, and each Monday, there will be second and third and so forth modules dropped. And like Lisa said, I think there are anywhere from 5 to 12 minutes long modules. They're super short and doable and one pagers. So like you have all the main pointers and your reflections. I have it on that page. So you'll have that PDF as well. So you want it visually, you'll have that available too. And then so we go through the 6 weeks, and I know life gets busy. Like Lisa said, one week your kids got sick, and I never want you to feel like, oh, you're behind now. You can never fall behind in this one. And that's why week 7 and 8 is an integration weeks. You go back, rewatch. There was one video that was fire for you, Lisa. So, something like that, you can go back and rewatch it. And any other tool that you really liked, you can go back, rewatch whatever you missed. You can go back. Week 7 and 8 is anything you missed, anything you want to go back to it again and again. That's what it's for. Plus, you get one coaching call, one-on-one coaching call with me during those 2 weeks. You book it. So after we go through 6 weeks, you get to implement stuff, embody stuff, learn stuff, and then 7 and 8, you come in and let's personalize it for you. What's working? What's not working? How can I help you? So that's what basically the whole journey is. In the first 3 months, this time, which I didn't do last time, but this time I'm giving Voxer support. So on top of all of these things, The first 3 moms will get Voxer support as well. So it's like having a parenting coach in your back pocket, I say. You can message me anytime. And, during business hours, if you're having any issues in the moment, like Lisa was having issue, honeydew, like you can message me, hey, John, in the moment, this is what's going on. And I don't want to yell or scream. Tell me, I've forgotten all my tools and I need you to kind of quickly, 1 second thing, tell me, and I'm going to come to your rescue and help you shift it in the moment through Voxer. Okay. So Voxer is basically a walkie talkie. We go back and forth either via text or voice message. So I'm giving that to only the first 3 months. So don't miss out on it, moms. This is such a goal thing to have that as, in addition to all of the other things as your support during this 8 weeks. Oh yeah. And then, I'm giving away 1 free admission to 1 mom. This is like my birthday gift I'm giving away to you guys. So if you just go to my YouTube, Authentically Parenting, and subscribe and like and comment on 5 videos, just send me the screenshots of it at jahanvi@authenticallyparenting.com. That's all you have to do. And there will be 1 winner who will get this entire A.L.I.V.E experience completely free.
Do it.
So, there are moms out there who genuinely can't afford it. So I get it. And yet they are so ready to do this work. And I want to give that to 1 mom. Once you do this program, and as long as you're part of Authentically Parenting community, whenever I offer this, you're going to be part of this free. You don't have to pay. So you can do this over and over and over as many times as you want. If you want to redo it every time I offer it, which I'm offering December 13th is the next round happening. So yeah, as long as you're Authentically Parenting community, part of that, you will have access to this.
Thank you.
And Lisa, would you say you would want to do this again and again and again? What do you think?
I would totally do this again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that you walk through this journey, what do you feel awakening in you that you want to keep exploring, whether it's deeper calm, more boundaries, more trust, more pauses?
Always more positive. Deeper calm. I've always been a calm person. So we can keep going with that because I need more of that back. Deeper calm, more trust, and deeper relationships, because that has been so cool to connect with my kids such a more relaxed way. And like probably any person, I hope that when I'm older, that I'll still have a relationship with them. But if I don't start that now, it's going to be a lot harder to make happen when they're older. So basically all the things you said. But I think ultimately I can't access those other things if I don't find deeper calm for me.
Wow. That's a huge awareness. I don't think that awareness was there. Yeah. Wow. How does it feel to have such deep awareness?
Cool.
Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Truly, truly, Lisa. Thank you for everything that you shared today. You're taking the time. I know we are so busy, but you're taking the time to do this today. And everything you shared today is going to be helpful for another mom who feels she's, that she's not alone. She will get that, okay, there are other moms who may be going through stuff, and there is hope, like you said. And that's the whole point. And I'm just super grateful for your heart, your honesty, and the way you have walked through this journey. It's been truly inspiring, and I'm truly honored to have walked this journey with you and witnessed all the beautiful things I witnessed.
Thank you for making it possible. Truly.
Big hug. Someday we will be in person hugging, okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone. And I can't wait to welcome you inside A.L.I.V.E Parenting Method. Lots of love.